Hi, it's Chad Seay from Seay Real Estate here in Richmond, Virginia. And the topic I want to talk to you about this week was actually texted to me last week by a friend and past client of mine who said that his in-laws were moving from Vancouver to Oregon. And a question had come up regarding that move that he thought would make a good topic for this segment. So what's happening is they have gone to purchase the house in Oregon. They've done like we recommend all of our clients do who are buyers, and they've hired a home inspector to do a whole house inspection of that property. Sure enough, they found defects like they do most of the time. And my friend's family member wondered whether or not they should ask the seller to make those repairs, have them made prior to closing, or give them a credit toward doing it themselves. And what I thought I'd look at briefly is both sides of that equation, how a buyer should consider it and how a seller should consider it. In the case of my friend's family member, sure, to go and to move into that house with all the work being done, well, that's good. You don't have to think about it. You get in there and enjoy the house, and whatever bothered you that was wrong has been fixed, and it's out of sight, out of mind, and done. The challenge, or not always a challenge, but something to be cognizant of and careful about, is who does the work and how they do the work. And if you take that approach, you want to make sure that the seller gives you receipts from licensed contractors who have done that work and done it right. If it's something really simple that the seller themselves can do, that's fine too. You'll just want the opportunity to take a good look at it before you go close on the house. What some buyers choose instead is to get a credit usually towards their closing cost. Because if that seller will give you a credit towards your closing cost, it effectively leaves more money in your hands, whereby once you own the house, you can hire your own contractors and you can be selective. You can get reputable contractors, you can sometimes oversee the work, and you can make sure things are done to your standards in a way that you can't always do when you ask the seller to have it done before closing. So because of that, sometimes a buyer would prefer to get a credit. On the selling side, if you're a seller and a buyer has inspected your house, and you have an option between having the repairs made or giving the buyer a credit towards closing cost, it's a lot easier to just give them a credit towards closing cost. Again, that frees up money for them. They can have the work done themselves after they own it. And as long as that credit you're giving them doesn't really exceed what you would be paying somebody else to do the work, it's so much easier. You don't have to arrange contractors. You don't have to do as much. It's just a simple exchange at the closing where part of your proceeds will go towards their closing costs, and then the buyer can take care of it themselves. If you do go the contractor route, if there are multiple defects, instead of having 4 or 5 contractors you're having to coordinate and get prices from, it is easier if you can find just one who can kind of be in charge of it all, give you a price for doing it all. And if that makes sense, that's the next easiest way, to just have one contractor involved helping you out with that. But these things get negotiated. Sometimes it's give and take. Sometimes it's a combination. Well, we'll fix these 2 items and we'll give you a credit for these other 2. But the vast majority of the time, they work out. They come to a meeting of the minds, buyers and sellers do, and it's just one of those things in the process. And that's a little insight as to how it works this morning. I hope you have a great week.